Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. It's Anne-Margaret with Raise the Vibration. I hope everyone's having a lovely morning this morning. And today's live, I was inspired last night speaking to one of my first students who I met over almost 20 years ago about choice and the fifth chakra. So this morning, I am in all blue because the color of the fifth chakra is blue. And today we're going to be talking about spiritualizing your desires, and we'll talk about what that means in a moment. If you are familiar with Thomas Merton's Thoughts in Solitude, here's my little copy, Thoughts in Solitude. We're going to just reference that book and also work with relationship to anger and escapism, and understanding how if we don't keep ourselves in check around those things, if they're out of check, if they're out of balance, then they can really begin to wreak havoc in our lives. So a couple shout outs before I begin, just to get you guys settled. If you want to grab a pen, paper, a journal, go ahead. So a couple shout outs. This first one, it's my dear friend Jill Notini, one of my best friends in high school up in Massachusetts, just sent me this beautiful necklace, and it is from Ink and Alloy. I think that's how you pronounce it, Ink and Alloy, but a beautiful, beautiful necklace. So thank you so much, girl. If you don't know about her, she is on Instagram at oh my gosh, Move Feet and Feed. I almost forgot. Move Feet and Feed. She's a vegan, incredible chef. Her Instagram page makes food look like absolute art, and it tastes delicious as well. So I've tried some of her recipes. Second shout out is to Mariana Ponce from Good Day Today. Although Good Day Today is not in Lima, Peru anymore, I got to meet her and teach down at her studio. And a huge shout out to all my friends down in Lima, Peru at Lima Yoga as well. So a few shout outs before we begin this morning. Okay, so let's start, everybody. I want you to just close your eyes and begin connecting with your breath. Take a few deep breaths in, just connecting with yourself this morning, letting go of all other distractions. And as you breathe and you're opening your ears and you're opening your heart and your mind, I'll share with you some words of wisdom from the beautiful Thomas Merton, all about spiritualizing your desires, making sure that we have a through line of God or presence of divine energy in our lives in everything we do. So he says, if you want to have a spiritual life, you must unify your life. A life is either all spiritual or not spiritual at all. No man can serve two masters. Your life is shaped by the end you live for. You are made in the image of what you desire. To unify your life, unify your desires. To spiritualize your life, spiritualize your desires. To spiritualize your desires, desire to be without desire. So what is he saying here? This is very, very dense poetry, and it's gorgeous. When he starts off, all of us out on this spiritual journey are trying to create a more spiritual life. How do we align ourselves with that spiritual life, with the energy of God moving through us? And if you're triggered by that word God, remember you just replace it with creator, universal energy, divine energy, etc. But we want more of that energy coming through us. And if we compartmentalize our spirituality with just going to church every Sunday, or just with our church friends, or if we don't go to church, if we just compartmentalize it when we go and we're of service, when we volunteer, we miss out on the beauty of spirituality and this divine essence in our lives. This also has to do with when we move through things that are undesirable in our lives, like when trauma happens, when things happen that are painful. The power of choice and the fifth chakra in the throat, has incredible power to understand our capacity for choice, for conscious choice, for the power of choice. That when something comes our way, rather than compartmentalize it, saying this is of God, this is not of God, this is spiritual, this is not spiritual, what if we saw every single thing in our life as of God? The worst, the most challenging things that come our way, the biggest disappointments, the most challenging people, the criminal activity that happens to us, the traumatic activity that happens to us, the things that we see in the world. What if we saw it's all God and choose it? Power of consciously choosing it, so that we can understand the beauty of the lessons hidden within it. So I want you to think about, as you're breathing, as you're connecting with yourself right now, what in your life are you in rejection of? That you're like, I would never choose this. This is happening to me. Whatever that is, it's a victimization in your life, and it's keeping you from being empowered from God, from that connection to feeling empowered with choice, feeling empowered with absorbing the lesson that it contains. So think about something in your life where you feel like you're victimized by it. This is not a sexy topic. This is not an attractive thing to do. This is where the real work lives. Have you got one? All right, keep your eyes closed. So when he says that if you want to have a spiritual life, you must unify your life. It's all spiritual or it's not at all spiritual. Your life is shaped by the end you live for. Do you want to get to the end of your life and say, well, these things were good and these things weren't very good, and I regret this and this was horrible, but these things were great. What if you got to the end of your life and you said, wow, what a gift that was. I'm so grateful for all of the challenges, all of the pitfalls, all of those peaks I had to climb, because it was in that journey that I learned so much. It was in the people and the circumstances that challenged me most greatly that I learned the most incredible life lessons: how to open my heart more fully, how to have more patience, how to be more of service, how to be in awe of the little things in life that are so important. So when you get to the end of your life is shaped by what end you're living for. Okay, every man dies, not every man lives. We know that quote from Braveheart. And also, we just saw a movie last night, my husband and I, Anthony. We saw the movie 42. If you haven't seen this movie, oof, it is so moving. It's the Jackie Robinson story. And if you don't know who Jackie Robinson is, my dad's a huge fan of baseball, so I know who Jackie Robinson is. But if you don't, he was the first African-American baseball player to break into the major leagues. And can you imagine in 1947, 48, the amount of adversity? It just is so moving. The amount of adversity, the movie portrays the journey so beautifully. And he has a quote in there I wanted to share with you. It just hit me so intensely. And he says, I don't care if they like me. He's talking to his wife in the movie, and I think it was the moment he just got, so they were actively trying to hit him. The pitcher was actually trying to hit him and hit him in the head and knocked him out, and knocked him on the ground rather. And he said to her, I don't care if they like me. I'm not here to make friends. I don't care if they don't respect me. I have enough self-respect. And it was so moving at this moment in the movie, because you really see his faith. You really see his faith. He knows what he's there for. He knows the purpose of his life at that moment is to break open, is to play good baseball, is to have courage, is to be that example like Gandhi was of nonviolence in the face of people spitting at him and jeering at him, and crowds of people in the stadiums calling him atrocities and telling him he doesn't belong there. So if you haven't seen this movie, go out and see it. But it's an example of honoring that it was between him and God, and that's it. It was between him and his creator, his purpose of what he was doing there. And he had the most influential career. That the number 42 is the only number that's retired in Major League Baseball. And that once a year in April, all the players all wear the number 42. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Because this man had the courage in the face of severe adversity and threats to his family and children. And, he gave his life to this. So at the end of your life, what do you want to look back at? Are you worried about what other people are thinking? Are you worried about whether you're being respected or not? You're not here on this earth to make friends. You're also not here to hurt people either. So it's not about just being cruel to others and I'm not here to make friends. But your mission, your purpose in life, if you choose it, is to choose the entirety of your life and step into it with a courage, with the faith, with an absolute reverence for your life, so that you can take your life and use it to the best of your ability to make a difference with other people in your family and to society at large. So let me read a little bit more here. He says, to live in the Spirit is to live for a God in whom we believe, but whom we cannot see. It's that faith. To desire this is therefore to renounce the desire of all that can be seen. I think about another movie, Indiana Jones, I think it was the third movie, where he's standing on that precipice, and it's an amazing, amazing movie. And this scene is so incredible, all about faith when he puts his foot out. And the test is that he has to lean into that step. If you haven't seen this scene, it's incredible. He has to lean into that step and trust it. And he's over this chasm that would definitely kill him if he fell. He leans into the chasm and the step appeared. This passage is also about that. We have to believe in what we cannot see. We have to have faith in that next step. To desire this is to therefore renounce the desire of all that can be seen, of that sure path in front of us. We don't always see what's next. We have to have faith. To possess him who cannot be understood is to renounce all that can be understood. So faith and having this journey, this leap into the unknown, this jumping before the wings are appearing, is this faith. It's to renounce that you have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to have faith. To rest in him who is beyond all created rest, we renounce the desire to rest in created things. To know that whatever it is that we're stepping into is so much greater than what we can find in the day-to-day, in our material possessions, etc. And by renouncing the world, we conquer the world, rise above. By renouncing the world, we conquer the world, rise above its multiplicity, and recapitulate it in the simplicity of a love which finds all things in God. So it's like listening to the way that we're presented that life should be. Like, we should be this, we should be that these things are important. And if we're able to say, you know what, I know that the greatest rich is in my heart, in my relationships, in my faith, in my connection to being of service in the world, then we truly find the value. So, all right, excellent. So think about something that you've been feeling like you've been in resistance of. Can you consciously choose that like a blessing that has been put in your life to teach you how to carve out your heart even more deeply? All right, a couple things. What blocks this is anger and also escapism. So those of you who use essential oils, your vetiver, this is an amazing tool. It's called the emotional wheel, and it has the so-called positive emotions on one side and negative on the other. And vetiver is the emotional oil of escapism. So you want to use that oil if you feel like you're not being present with what the challenges are in your life. You're just watching TV or getting drunk or getting high or doing anything like that. Vetiver is an amazing oil for that. If you're dealing with anger, it's one of my favorite oils, cardamom. It's an amazing, amazing oil. I sometimes mix cardamom with wild orange, and these two together, I put links in there. Amazing to shed the anger so that you're able to consciously choose what you've been given, no matter how challenging it is. All right, 2 more quick things. All right, quick cards for your weekend ahead. Okay, here is one card. Artemis, this is beautiful. Guardian, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. This is just the same theme of honoring that all that we are going through, all is of God, okay? All is spiritual protection. Hero, heroine, it's that journey too. It's honoring those highs and lows, okay? Passion for a journey of personal empowerment is that light attribute. The shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. go figure, we picked these 2 cards today. So you guys, thank you for joining me. Have an amazing weekend. I love you all. Until next time, keep raising the vibration. Bye, everybody.